Hi YouTube, I'm Beth, and this is my review of the 2005 Barbie Totally Real House. Starting off, obviously, this is a 19-year-old dollhouse, so it is going to have some flaws. I'm missing all of the accessories. It is going to have some damage, and unless you're willing to shell out the cash for a new one, which is around $500 from what I've seen, you're going to end up with a little bit less than what the original came with, and that's okay. Starting off with the outside, I am missing, these would have two flower boxes here, and those like snap on. Of course, those have been lost to time, and that's okay. I do really miss the apex of the roof. These are the little holes where that would snap in, and it's kind of just ugly up top, but that's okay. I do still have the roof pieces on here, and of course, neither of these missing items affect the functionality of the house. Down below, the most interesting details, of course, are the door and the doorbell. This door really does open, of course. The mail slot opens. You can see it there, and the doorbell really rings. Secondarily, the windows really open. This was a huge selling point for me personally because a lot of these houses, when you have the used examples, did not come with either one or both of the window panes. Usually they had neither window pane, no curtains, no curtain rod. So it was I was excited to see this example. I bought it for $52. And I was excited to see that it had both of the opening and closing window panes as well as the curtains on the inside. Closing those back up, I'm going to move along to the back of the house. At the back, there's not a lot going on here. You can see there are two little faux flower box details. They're just the same color as the house, which I'm not thrilled about, but they're very cute still. There are two windows in the back. This one is in the bathroom and this one is in the kitchen. I think those are very cute. I'm very pleased with them. They don't open, but they're very realistic and very fun. Secondarily, there is a battery compartment back here. I personally, since I've bought this house, have not had to open it up. So I don't know if the batteries are corroded. All I know is that I bought the house in working condition and I'm gonna ride that out. When you open the house, there is kind of a learning curve to opening and closing this house. So the hinge is down here. It's very nicely hidden. You open this up. It's very stiff, works very well. It snaps. And then you're actually supposed to open, based on these little teeth here, you're supposed to open this side first and then this side. I found that to be very interesting and kind of counterintuitive, as I would open and close this side first just because it's on the right and I'm right-handed. Starting off in the bedroom / living room area, this would have had a convertible bed sofa combo kind of thing, kind of looked like a chaise lounge almost, and that would have been green. That being said, the details that I do have are super cool. Up top, these are three little picture frames. They would have had, I think, pictures of flowers in them, which are very cool to me. I also like how that ties in with the floral pink curtains. Early 2000s Barbie had a lot of butterfly and flower patterns, and I think that that is so cool that Mattel managed to incorporate these girly Y2K patterns into a house that was supposed to look realistic. When you close this door here, it is attached to this frame piece, and that folds all the way this way, all the way this way, and also any direction in between. I believe on the box, they had this at some kind of 45-degree angle so that the room was like this, which I'm not crazy about, but it is what it is. That was how that they had it, and that is an option. This door does open and close. I try to be very gentle with it because the clasp mechanism, it's just plastic. The whole thing is just plastic, but it's very durable. It's very clean. It's not missing any pieces, and it's very realistic. Moving along, you can fold this back. So if you're playing in just this bathroom area, you can expand it and kind of shape it any way you like. I think when I have the house all lined up, I would prefer to have it like this so that it is surrounded on both sides by a wall. And you can see that is a very realistic and typical bathroom layout. Moving on to the bathroom, you can see first there's this little toilet paper holder. I was very pleased that this house came with the toilet paper holder because I was seeing this on eBay for upwards of $10, which I thought was really crazy because it's a plastic roll of toilet paper and it's 20 years old. That being said, I'm happy that it's there. I think it's very cute. You can spin it, rotate it, whichever way you please, and I think that that's a fun detail. Secondarily, this is the bathroom window. Underneath that would have been a towel rack with a little blue, like felt material kind of towel. And of course, every little girl's favorite dollhouse item is the toilet. Now, I will say I did not see growing up a lot of early 2000s and 90s Barbie houses with a toilet. I'm not sure if that was deliberate because, like, ooh, we don't want girls to use toilet humor, or if it was just a design flaw, a design choice, if it was overlooked, if it was thought to be not important. I'm not really sure, but this house has a toilet and it is really well made and well functioning. So the lid opens up. And when you hit this flusher, it does flush. This lid opens up and the seat does not fold all the way up. I'm not sure if that's because my hinge, you can see, is wonky, or if it's because it wasn't intended to fold all the way up. And then, of course, when you fold up the house, the toilet bowl itself folds back into the wall. Next to that is the shower. The shower has a detachable head, and it does have a handle so that Barbie can hold the shower head and position it whichever way she pleases. You can hook that back on. The piping, whatever you would call that, is just kind of a rubbery plastic. So while you can move it around, bend it, I don't. I just am afraid of breaking it. This is a little soap dish. It did come with a bar of soap. Obviously, I don't have the bar of soap, which is very unfortunate because I think that that's a very cute and realistic detail. If you fold up this wall, which I'm assuming was the way that the house was intended to be, there was a shower rod for a shower curtain. It went to right about here, and it was rounded so it would fit around any Barbie. And the shower curtain was the same material as the bedroom curtains, and I believe it was pink and green. That's a super fun detail. I think that that's very cute. Of course, I don't have it, but that's okay. The shower is still perfectly functional. And the favorite detail of the shower, of course, is the little handle that is also a button, and it makes a shower noise. Personally, I think that sound is more like a dishwasher or a washing machine to me than a shower. But I don't know if that could be because the speakers are old or if that's just the way that it is. I don't know. Either way, that's the shower noise. Lastly, we have the mirror and sink, the vanity. Kind of plain, and the placement between the mirror and the sink looks kind of awkward, but when Barbie is standing, her hands reach into the sink and her face is at the mirror, so Mattel knew what they were doing when they made this awkward looking vanity placement that is actually appropriate and proportional, and it does work. This wall does not fold back into the bathroom all the way, so that's something that you can keep in mind when you're folding this house. When I was folding it back up for the first time, I tried to fold this wall flat into the bathroom because I thought that that was the way that it was supposed to fold. It does not fold that way. Do not try to fold it that way. You will break it. That being said, there are no paintings or anything on this wall that I know of, no stickers. That's okay. You can hang up your own paintings, stickers, whatever you please. And I really do love the wainscoting detail here on the bottom of the door. That is textured. This is raised. This little trim piece is raised. And I think that that's really cool and very realistic. Moving along into the kitchen. This is probably the coolest part of the house besides the bathroom. I'm not sure which one is my favorite. First, there's the fridge, which does open on top. You can see this little notch here, like a little thing, and the closure is pretty tight. Something quirky about this fridge is that it doesn't open all the way the first time you open it. You can see this, the hinge kind of gets stuck here, and then you like fold it back and it opens all the way. It takes a little bit of finesse, but it does open that far up until the hinge of the wall. It has 2 of these silver realistic textured shelves and then 1 plain yellow shelf, and it is pretty deep. I would say it's about 1.5 inches deep. That closes back up, and then the bottom freezer part does not open. It's just a facade, even though it looks like it does. That's just part of the closure for the fridge. Next to that is the oven. It does have 5 knobs, very realistic. You have 4 for the range up top, which doesn't have any sound effects, unfortunately. And then you have 1 for the oven. The oven also has the on and off switch for the whole house. And I think it's a really interesting detail that when you turn the house off and then back on, you know when the house is on because it makes the doorbell sound. So you'll always know if your house is on and functioning when you turn it on, because as soon as you flip that switch, the doorbell will go off. The oven door is clear plastic and it does open up, and it's about the same depth as the fridge. I don't know if there was ever a second rack that went in here. Either way, it's a very cool detail. I'm very happy with it. And of course, it closes back up. The 2 drawers on the bottom do not open up. They're also just a facade, but that's okay. It's all right. This house does not have a lot of storage. I will say that is my biggest critique of this house. There is not a lot of storage. The storage spaces are not very deep, but nothing is perfect. Next to the oven, we have, of course, on top of the oven, there's this window, same as the bathroom window. It doesn't open. There's nothing really special about it. There are these 3 oven pots and pans hooks where Barbie actually had pots and pans. I think they were silver, they might have been copper, and they did fit on these little hooks. So that's really fun. Underneath the hooks, you have a washer and dryer combo. They're stacked on top of each other, and they do open up. The hinges open up all the way, and I can tell that the one on top was more played with because this hinge is super tight, closes like it was brand new, and the other one is a little more loose, and that's all right. Both doors open up right to the next wall, and then they close, and you can hear them snap. The totally real aspect about this part of the house was the little soap box on top of the washer and dryer. When you press it down, there is supposed to be a spring kind of mechanism which made the washer and dryer spin on the inside. It only worked one time. When I bought and tested the house and first took it out of the box, I got it to spin once, and then it never spun again. I don't know if that's a quirk with all of these houses or just the one that I bought, but either way, I'm okay with it. Now, when I said that there was a learning curve to closing this house, I really did mean it. It's a little bit funky, it's a little bit complicated, and there are kind of a lot of moving parts. It might be more natural and intuitive for some people than for others. So I'm going to show you in what order to close the house. this is the wall that you close first based on these little teeth. And then you snap the hinge back in place. It's very tight, it closes very nicely. I can't close the mail slot from the outside. And that is all there is to it. That is the Barbie Totally Real House from 2005.